Hello everyone, welcome back. Zargot here. Looks like we're rolling into day number 2 of our Rivals of Ixalan spoiler season. So we're going to check out all the cards that got spoiled for us today. Hope you're going to enjoy looking at those with me. If you do, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my future videos. Okay, so our first card up is Merfolk Mistbinder. I like this card. Blue-green for 2/2 gives all Merfolk you control +1/+1. Very, very valuable if you're playing Merfolk. This is going to buff all your guys. It's going to be especially powerful once you get to that mid to late game where your Merfolk just need that extra boost. Our next card is Swift Warden. This is 3 for a 3/3. It has Flash. It's a Merfolk Warrior. I like this card a lot. It gives one of your creatures hexproof when it comes into play. This is a very strong card in my opinion. I mean, 3 for a 3/3 Flash is fine on its own, and it's part of the Merfolk clan. And then the hexproof makes a great combat trick. Now we've got the Seafloor Oracle. 2 blue and 2 for 2/3 Merfolk. Whenever one of your Merfolk does damage to a player, you can draw a card. Don't think this is going to make any ripples in constructed play, but I can see this being a pretty valuable card and limited. Something to kind of refill your hand late game. Now we've got the World Shaper. This is 4 for 3/3. It's a hill giant. When you attack, you can mill yourself for 3, and then when it dies, it allows you to return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I'm not sure what kind of synergies this card's going to have in limited, but I could see this card being great for combo decks in casual play, in the modern or even legacy format. Then we have the Jade Light Ranger. I like this card a lot. 2 green and 1 for 2/1, and it gets to explore and then explore again. I think this card's going to be, probably a 3/2 and draw you a land more times than not, and every now and then it's going to be a 4/3 for 3, which is very, very strong as well. Next we have Watery Ambush. This is a blue and 3 enchantment. When it comes into play, you get to make 2 1/1 hexproof Merfolk, and then for a blue and 3, you can make a Merfolk unblockable to end of turn. I think I like Deeproot Waters a little bit better than this card, but this is probably going to be pretty decent in a limited format. Now we've got Legion Lieutenant. This is an excellent card. Black and white for 2/2 Vampire Knight. Gives all your other vampires +1/+1. Vampires were already strong. This is going to boost them over the top. Really, really strong. And to be quite honest, cards like this make me want to put together a standard deck with vampires as the theme. Very, very strong card. I'm looking forward to drafting this one. Next up we have Starving Paladin, which is 1 white and 1 colorless for a 3/3 Vampire Knight. That is fine. That's going to be a good card in limited. He doesn't untap during your untap step, but whenever you gain life, he does untap. That's going to be pretty strong, pretty easy to untap this guy when you're playing with a lot of your other vampires and life gain abilities. And this card just absolutely screams infinite combo. Now we have the Sky Marcher Aspirant. This is a great vampire. It's a 2/1 for 1. That's going to be pretty aggressive. Definitely something good to do for your 1-drop. And it does have Ascend. So whenever you have the City's Blessing, this guy's going to gain flying. So this is going to be good early game for aggression. And late game, it'll be a cheap flyer to add to your board. Now we've got the Paladin of Atonement. This is 1 white and 1 other for 1/1 Vampire Knight. It says during each upkeep, if you lost life on the previous turn, it gets a 1/1 counter. And when it dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. I like this card with Adanto Vanguard. Just because you can pay the life to make it indestructible, and you get the added bonus of pumping the Paladin. Also with Argyl's Bloodfast, you can draw cards, pump this guy each turn, and if you end up sacrificing this to the Bloodfast, you actually gain double the life from it. So it's pretty powerful, and I think in constructed formats, this card's going to get more value with fetch lands and shock lands. So maybe this will actually show up in constructed play. So our last vampire is a Lend of the Dust Rose. Black, white, and 2 for 1/1 lifelinker. Whenever a creature dies, you get a 1/1 counter on it, and then when it dies, you get X11 vampire tokens with lifelink equal to its power. This card's kind of interesting. It does allow you to just kind of suicide all of your 1/1 vampires into your opponent, beefing this creature, and then when it dies, you replace all your vampires. But I would certainly be careful with this card because it is pretty expensive and easily removed from the board. We got Pirate's Pillage here. A red and 3 for a sorcery. It allows you to discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. Not a particularly powerful card. You may include this as your 23rd card in some of your limited decks. I think it's a little overcosted. Then we got the Daring Buccaneer. 1 red for 2/2. You do have to reveal a pirate card from your hand to reduce the casting cost to 1 red. Otherwise it is 3. But I think this is a good aggressive card, and I'll be happy to play this in my pirate decks. Now I've got the Ravenous Chupacabra, 2 black and 2 for 2/2 Beast Horror. When it comes into play, destroy target creature an opponent controls. Well, it looks like Necrotal is back. He lost first strike, but now you can destroy any creature your opponent controls. I like this card a lot. Then we've got Kamino's Awakening, 2 blue and 2. This has Ascend. Allows each player to draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep. But if you have the City's Blessing, you are the only person that gets to draw the card. I actually kind of like this. I think this is going to be kind of fun in commander decks, and limited, I think this might allow some extra card advantage as well. Now we've got Glorious Destiny. 1 white and 2. It's an enchantment. When it comes into play, pick a creature type. All those creatures get +1/+1, and if you have City's Blessing, they get Vigilance as well. This card is going to be an easy include in Vampire decks, White Dino decks, and actually very much worth splashing into your Pirate and Merfolk decks. Very, very strong card. Now we've got Path to Discovery. Green and 3 for an enchantment that says, whenever a creature enters a battlefield under your control, it explores. This is a very strong card. This is going to be pretty high up on my picks list and drafting. I'm definitely going to slip one of these into my commander deck, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see people try this card out in Standard. Next we have Etali's Summoner. This is 1 red and 1 for a 1/1 human. It has Ascend. Its ability is when it attacks, you can pay red and X to create X 1/1 elemental tokens tapped and attacking. They get exiled at the end step, unless you have the City's Blessing, in which case they don't get exiled. This card very easily activates City Blessing if you're playing this mid to late game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this show up in some sort of standard constructed deck. It's very aggressive. I think I'm going to love this card in draft. Very, very powerful, and I'm looking forward to turning on City's Blessing. Next we have Induce Amnesia. I actually like this card. It's a blue and 2 for an enchantment. When it enters play, target player exiles their hand face down and then draws that many cards, and then when it goes to the graveyard, they actually get to draw those cards back to their hand. This card, if you have a way to get rid of it pretty consistently and easily, it's going to allow you to, if you're playing a slower deck, double your hand size. Very, very strong. Next we have Shrine Atlasaur, a white and 4 for a 3/4 dino. It reads that if a source would deal damage to another dinosaur you control, reduce that damage to 1. I think it's a pretty strong card. It doesn't protect itself, unfortunately, but mid to late game when you slam this guy, it makes all of your opponent's blocks just really, really terrible against your dinos. Next we have Dead Man's Chest, a black and 1 for an enchantment, and enchants a creature your opponent controls. When the creature dies, you exile cards from the top of their library equal to the creature's power, and then you can cast any of the non-land cards using mana from your pool that counts as any color. I feel like this card's a little slow and limited anyway, just because it doesn't kill the creature. Once you cast this, then you do have to kill the creature, but I think in Commander this is going to be a lot of fun. Next we have Admiral's Order. I mean, this is a solid card. I like this a lot. It's 2 blue and 1 for a counter spell, and then it does have a raid trigger that reduces its casting cost to 1 blue. This is fantastic. I mean, 3 casting cost counter spell is fine. It's not overpowered or anything, but it's completely fine. But then there are going to be games where that raid trigger is very, very relevant, so I'm looking forward to playing with this card. Next we have Etali, Primal Storm. This is a big Elder Dinosaur. I'm very excited about this card. 2 red and 4 for a 6/6 dino. When it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you can cast any of the exiled cards that are non-land without paying their mana cost. This card is crazy. This is going to let you steal your opponent's removal spells. This is going to let you play extra creatures. This is going to make combat more interesting. I love this card. And don't even get me started on how crazy this thing's going to be in big multiplayer games of Commander. Looking forward to this. First pick always. Next up we have Watley Radiant Champion, green, white, and 2 for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. Its +1 ability lets you put an extra loyalty counter on it for each creature you control. Its -1 lets you give a creature XX, X equaling the amount of creatures that you control. And its -8 lets you have an emblem, lets you draw a card each time a creature enters play under your control. I think you're going to be able to trigger the ultimate pretty easily just off its +1 ability. I'm a little sad that the -1 ability doesn't give the creature trample, so I'm not exactly sure how strong this card is going to be, but I'm interested to see how it plays. Our last card for today is the Time Stream Navigator, a blue and 1 for a human pirate wizard. It's a 1/1, it has Ascend, and its ability is pretty good actually. 2 blue and 2, tap it, put it on the bottom of your library, and you get to take an extra turn after this one. You can only activate that if you have the City's Blessing, but I really like this card. I actually really like the art as well. I'm interested in seeing this card in foil, and I think this is going to be a great addition to my Commander deck. Alright everyone, so looks like that's going to be it for our Rivals of Ixalan spoilers today. Don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely getting pretty excited about the new cards. I'm looking forward to playing with all the Elder Dinos. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. City's Blessing looks like it's going to be interesting. Can't wait to start drafting these cards. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in my next video.